able to cure massive sicknesses, like, if I make my usage of that word, that is plaguing the status quo currently, and we see how we try to look for solutions to these things, but then again, they are obtainable, but here we have a more viable solution that can solve this problem, and we as the government side in today's debate will readily buy into this. Now, what is our premise as to why we support this in the first place? We believe that stem cells are very, very important, and we want the kind of stem cells to be extra. We believe that the babies in today's debate that are conceived through artificial insemination will be the cells, so to speak. We know that for every baby to be formed, a sperm has to be there and an egg, right? We feel that the babies in the context of today's debate are those that the stems that are obtained in forming these babies will be obtained by donors, right? Any individuals that deems fit to like support this just cause by the government can walk up and say, all right, I want to donate my sperm for this, and to whatever extent I feel I can donate my female part, be it the egg or something, to this to ensure that the government would achieve this goal at large is highly welcome, and we will remunerate this person in due course to whatever extent we feel deemed fit, right? I'll take it.
Okay, do you find people bring their 3-year-old babies and donate to the state?
No, we don't actually. We feel that we are the ones that will bring these cells together, we will conceive these babies, we will nurture them to whatever extent that we deem fit it is right for us to extract these stem cells from them. That is how we will do it, right? So we feel that these babies, for clarity, right? These babies are the ones who are conceived by donors. You feel you have a sperm, you want to donate for this just cause by the government, it's highly welcome, you'll be remunerated for it, right? Also, to whatever extent that we feel that it is very, very important, please be quiet. To whatever extent that we feel it is very, very important for the government to actualize this just cause, we also prioritize the lives of these babies, and that is why we feel that to whatever extent, extraction of this cell will not be done to an extent where the lives of these babies are at risk, right? Mr. Speaker, we feel that it is very, very, very important to prioritize the rights of these babies, despite the fact that they don't have like regular mothers or fathers. We as the government are going to take sole responsibilities to cater for these babies. We will ensure we provide adequate infrastructure to ensure that their lives are paramount, their lives are at stake. We see in the status quo where like you need a bone marrow transplant, right? We see that this transplant is a very, very, very delicate one, and that is why when it is being extracted from one individual to another, it is the doctors readily ensure that the extraction from these individuals that is being extracted from, the life of this person is quite prioritized. That's why you cannot readily extract everything. We ensure that this person still lives. That's why we extract a certain measure so that this person can continue living and engaging like in whatever social cause he deems fit for the greater good. Now, why do we feel it is very, very important for us to use this like babies specially conceived from artificial insemination? That's one question this speech will be answering. And what effect will this have on the government and the people at large? Firstly, like the motion has stated, it's like a no-brainer. We see that this artificial insemination, these artificially inseminated babies has like to a very, very, very large extent likelihood of success, right? We feel that in the medical field, we go readily for the measures that we can readily attain or record a large amount of success. We feel it is a failure on the side of the government if they see these kind of things and adequately ensure that they can put mitigating measures to ensure that the lives of these babies are safe and do nothing about it, right? We feel it is very, very, very important for the government to do this. I will take you, Isn't.
Okay, so what is supposed to want the happen to this baby? You can't take care of the lives of these babies and still put their lives in harm's way, right? Most babies die from this operation themselves.
Alright, thank you very much, smart guys. But what do we tell you? We see that in whatever medical, whatever medical proceedings there is, we see that risks are being recorded. There is no way you can go for a heart transplant without the likelihood of, without knowing that you could readily die. We know that this shit exists in the status quo. We don't negate that. We don't negate the fact that chances exist that when we extract these things from these babies, even to the least barest minimum, we know that the safety of these babies are being guaranteed. We don't negate the fact that they could readily die. It hurts us because we have readily invested money in these babies, right? And we feel that we care for them to a large extent, that we provide infrastructure for them. But in the unfortunate scenario when these babies die, we feel, it's something that we are not proud of, but it's something that we cannot we cannot avoid, we cannot stop or prevent from happening, because we've done our best to ensure we cure this. Now we see that basically it is for the greater good, like we tell you, like it has a massive shitload of efficiencies, and we see that a likelihood of feasibility or survival of these babies are placed paramount, and that is why we feel okay, we should go ahead with this. And what effect will this subsequently have on the people at large and the reputation of the government at stake into this debate?
Sir.
First of all, I'll take it.
Now here's the thing: if a baby is donated by her parents and she's viable and can help, would you take that baby and kill her?
No, Kumbi, listen to this principle into this debate. We will inseminate these babies, it's like a no-brainer. So what do we tell you? It has this massive social impact. We see how there's a high survival rate on the side of these babies and on the side of the individuals that are being cured by these stem cells that are extracted from these babies, right? Secondly, we see how there is increased social impact in this sphere. How do we see this? We see that like there is increased patriotism, because individuals see that to a large extent the government does what it can to ensure that lives are being prioritized, whether it is lives of the babies and lives of the people that are being infused with these stem cells extracted from these babies. We see it is a greater good. It will readily lead to like less vandalization of infrastructure and whatnot that comes from when the government when the people feel complacent that the government can already provide for them to the best of their abilities, right? What else do we give you? We tell you that it is also the government's obligation to provide and protect for its citizens. So the government will definitely stand as a failed state when it cannot, to a large extent, do the best it can to ensure that the lives of its citizens are being prioritized. Whether it's the life of these children that the government has definitely decided to invest largely in inseminating these children, right? And the lives of this population that stand to exist and serve a social cause in the status quo. And finally, we see how it will definitely increase the lifespan of like every other person that tends to buy into this ideology. Corey will come up with more clarification, and on that, a very proud to propose.
The House thanks the Prime Minister and welcome to the opposition chair. Please, working teams, can I get your team speaker names, please? Names of speakers.
I can go speak on. I just think that the last speaking first. Open gates.